Alright, you battlers. You know what it is, JayDevin back at it with another Go Battle League video. So in today's video, from what you can see, we are featuring the team of Toxicroak, Azumarill, and a Registeel. Shout out to HouseStark93. I believe King also featured his team in an upload as well. So this team is super duper meta. If that is not what you are looking for in a video in Go Battle League, then I'm sorry, this video is not for you. We are on the grind to rank 10, and actually by the time this video goes up, while I'm recording this, actually I'm one set away from hitting rank 9. I don't even need a 5 for 5. I just need at least a 4 out of 5, then I will be rank 9. So yeah, that's gonna happen super soon. Hopefully we hit rank 10 pretty quick, because, you know, once we get into Ultra League and Master League, it might be a little more difficult since there are some core picks that I personally am missing out of those leagues. But, you know, we'll have to see how it goes. And I'm pretty confident I'm going to hit rank 10 season 1. Like, hands down, I feel like I'm definitely going to hit rank 10. Really, I just really hope that I hit it sooner rather than later. You know, I hope I don't have like some super losing streaks. I just want to keep using these super meta lines, getting the victories in, so I can hit rank 10, get that Pikachu, you know, have the status of rank 10 and whatever, so then I can start trying a bunch of off meta stuff featuring cheese teams and stuff. But, you know, again, for this video, like I said, this is not meta, so, you know, curb your cheese, curb your spice. This is super meta. So for this particular upload with this team, we did 2 sets. I think both were 4 out of 5. So that's why there are 8 wins over there. There was a set that I did with the same team, running it the same way that I featured on my live stream, where I actually went 5 for 5. So I think out of like every time that I've used this team, it's technically what, 13 for 15 win rate for me, which that's pretty good. That's really good. So it is a successful team. Obviously, when we see leads like this with the Skarmory, that's not something we want to see. Toxicroak can actually deal a decent amount of damage though if you build up some energy and you just use some counters and then dip out before they throw their Sky Attack. Like if you can catch a Sky Attack with the Registeel, for example, then that can be super ideal, which, you know, that's kind of what we did. I mean, that scenario happens a lot that I've noticed. A lot of people will be leading Skarmory, then if I, you know, swap Registeel, they are going to answer with Whiscash. So I want to get in that Focus Blast as quick as possible, so that's why I swap as quick as possible, because the quicker we build up energy, right? If they fail to respond quick enough, and if I swap quick enough, I'm going to be able to potentially hit 2 Focus Blasts if I dedicate 1 shield, which we actually, I don't know why I did that, to be honest. I don't feel like I should have used both shields on the Registeel. I guess I wanted to save it and see if they actually had some kind of hard answer for the Azumarill. I guess because of that, man, I don't know, did I lose this one? This might be one of the ones that I lost, honestly. But yeah, lead Toxicroak, save 1 shield, and I do find a lot of the times I end up closing with the Toxicroak, because we see, you know, Azumarill's in the back, or a Registeel in the back, Melmetal in the back, Bastiodon in the back, etc. And, you know, even against some Mud Boys, and that's why I say save 1 shield, even against the Mud Boys, if they have a Whiscash and or, you know, Swampert, or a, what's the other one? What's Swampert's second evolution? Mudkip. Why can't I remember, dude? I can't remember. Whatever the name of the second evolution is, if they have that too, because it can have what, Mudshot, Mud Bomb, and then Surf, like, you know, any Mud Boy across the board, I'll save a shield for that, and then usually the counter damage alone from Toxicroak is able to finish it off. One of the less common but more threatening enemies to this line is actually Altaria, from what you can see, and yeah. So because I didn't save that shield, I ended up losing that. Definitely I needed to save that shield. Do not double shield the Whiscash with a Registeel. That's, I guess, lesson 1. And, you know, from the first battle, I'm like, okay, you know, next time that happens, like, no matter what, no matter even what they lead with, like, I am not going to use an additional shield. I'm going to let the Registeel fall and save that shield no matter what. Because, you know, if I had saved that shield and had a Sludge Bomb available for that Altaria, you know, some things like that. Like, keep that in mind, even if you really don't want the Registeel to fall to whatever it is they have. Like, don't be afraid to let it go. That's the kind of, you know, higher level of play and, I guess, discipline that I'm discovering again myself. I feel like I let it go for a bit because well, for a lot of different reasons. A lot of stuff happened in life, and I started to drift away from becoming, you know, like a a hardcore, super duper competitive player. But then it's brought that part of me back out again because of Go Battle League, right? Because it's actually in the game. There's a, the ELO system. Like, this is, at least for now, this is as real as it's going to get as far as legitimate competitive Pokemon Go PvP. So definitely, that competitive part of me, the try-hard part, is coming out again, which is why, again, you're going to be seeing a lot of these super duper meta teams that perform really well, and I'll at least do my best in these videos that I upload for you to explain how to use the team, how to not use the team, etc. There was a comment on the recent video, I don't know if it was the last one, it was the Shift Tree video, I believe, where somebody said basically, you don't use Shift Tree correctly, and honestly, I agree with them. Leading with Shift Tree is not the best idea. He's most ideal as a swap. Then also what charge move you throw at what, for example. It can be Shift Tree can be used a lot better than I already featured, and I think I said that maybe in my tweet or something too. But picks like that I don't consider myself the best with. I have like a lot of spicy picks that are built. I have a lot of spicy Pokemon that are built and good to go for battles, but a lot of times when I try to actually use them, in application, I'm not as good as people who use them, more often, I guess. And that's because, I'm not practicing with the spice. I'm not trying to use spice all the time. I'm trying to hit rank 10. Okay, stop hating in the comments about using meta lines for people who are trying to hit rank 10. Let's be as clear as possible. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And until I hit rank 10, that's what most of the uploads you're going to see on my channel here are going to be, is basic meta lines trying to hit rank 10. It's the grind, it's the road to rank 10, okay? Now this one was interesting. I remember this one in particular. They had a Whiscash open, so you can see I don't swap out immediately. I was potentially trying to catch a Mud Bomb with the Azumarill, but I did want to build up some energy with the Toxicroak before I swapped out. I always want to make sure. I find that's a lot more successful with using this specific team if I build up energy with the Toxicroak. And they actually ended up quitting out. I think they probably just had a bad switch, honestly, into the Altaria, and they kind of gave up. So GG's. Hopefully they had some actual kind of answer to Azumarill. I don't know why. It was probably just a misclick that they went in with the Altaria. Now, this is another Mudboy open. Okay, see, I build up the energy and swap out to see if I can catch a Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately, we did not. Seems like that our opponent here is more disciplined, and they actually throw a Sludge Wave into the Azu, which does massive damage. I did not shield it. Again, I want to save the shield for now. But honestly, was that Sludge Wave really worth it? Like, even though it did all that damage, like, you are not going to KO this Azumarill with lock-ons from a Registeel. Like, if you had something else that could come in and, farm down on the Azumarill, for example, like a Meganium, then that would have made more sense to use that energy that way. And that's just my critique, just my opinion, but they had the Registeel, so I let the Azumarill fall. Actually, I let it go because I want to retain the swap advantage and see if I can get this Swampert out here again, and we do. So because I have saved this energy, I already have a Mud Bomb good to go, and we're at a shield disadvantage, so I gotta throw that energy that I have at this Swampert to either KO it, do the damage, or get a shield or something, which we did get a shield at this point. It's 1-to-1 shield, and this Swampert is basically farmable now for me with the counter. So I end up using the shield, we farm up, and they have a Toxicroak of their own in the back. So I am kind of in a tough spot at this point, but because I have the energy advantage on the opposing Toxicroak, I throw the Mud Bomb, which gets the shield, and then basically I sack swap with the Registeel here. So Mud Bomb goes through, Registeel is basically going to fall, but I know for a fact no matter what, when the Registeel falls, if he does, I can come back in with my Toxicroak, throw the Mud Bomb, and then counter down on the Swampert. They end up actually coming back in with the Swampert. They let the Toxicroak go. I don't even know if they had enough energy to finish off the Registeel, to be honest, but they throw what they have at the Registeel, they get rid of it, and again, I still have the Toxicroak. I close with the Toxicroak a lot of the times, especially, I think on stream, I closed with Toxicroak almost every time. So that was the first set. As you can see, 4 for 4. I played it bad. I definitely played it bad in game 1 specifically because I double shielded the Mud Bombs from a Whiscash with my Registeel. That was an animal play. Again, lesson learned, don't do it. I probably could have had a 5 for 5, but I made a bad call and I used both shields. So, but that's why when you lose like that, those are the kind of lessons, you know, that we want to learn and we want to take away from matches like this and uploads like this too. So they open up with the Deoxys. Now, this can be kind of iffy, right? Because we are starting to see a resurgence on Deoxys with it running Psycho Boost, which if I do not shield, Psycho Boost would one-hit KO the Toxicroak. Toxicroak is double weak. It would take 256% damage from a Psycho Boost on a Deoxys. So we're definitely going to be using that shield. I build up some more energy. I have tons of energy built up and good to go on that Toxicroak. And I come in with the Registeel because I'm like, okay, they can't really punish. I mean, they've thrown a Rock Slide. The worst thing they can do to punish my Registeel swap is answer with a Whiscash or just stay in with the Deoxys here and throw the Thunderbolt, which apparently they do have. They threw the Thunderbolt. I did not shield, of course. I want to save the shield, right? Save the shield with this team, no matter what. Save the shield. And that's why I like using this team this way too, because we can use Registeel as a swap, and even if they hard counter the Registeel, Lock-On is just so fast with generating energy that once I get the, that energy rolling, Registeel is still even threatening to its hard counters, because an unshielded Focus Blast to a Whiscash basically does half of its health with just the Focus Blast. So Registeel, super powerful. That's why he's the top meta, especially when paired with Azumarill. That core, Azumarill, Registeel, the reason it's so overpowering is because between those two, the synergy that they have, they cover everything. I mean, obviously there's core breakers like Toxicroak up here. Meganium's a good core breaker for those two as well, depending. I think Toxicroak does a little better in my opinion. But I mean, that's the only reason other picks like this are even good right now. Those are the only reasons. The Azumarill Registeel core is the only reason Toxicroak right now is as good as it is, and Whiscash is as good as it is. If they nerf those, or if something changes about this core, then the entire meta, I think, is going to change. The entire meta will see a shift. We throw the Ice Beam into the Venusaur, which did actually go unshielded. Makes sense that they are saving the shield that they have, but they kind of set themselves, I don't want to say at a disadvantage. I mean, it's smart to save the shield, but even with me not having any shields, I'm in a pretty advantageous position. I mean, it's kind of a rough position, but with how I can play this, and again, I have all this energy literally good to go. Like right now with this Toxicroak, it is going to hopefully KO the Venusaur. Oh, that was so close. Okay, so as you can see, I threw the Mud Bomb, then I basically immediately swapped because I saw that the Mud Bomb did not KO by itself. It did not KO the Venusaur, so I did that aggressive swap into Registeel here, not only to build up the energy, but to lock on down on the Venusaur. Like that was my win condition for this game. It's why I came out victorious, and I knew I could close with Toxicroak because they already revealed the moveset on their defense Deoxys as being Rock Slide and Thunderbolt. So we throw the Sludge Bomb, does not quite KO all the way, but again, they do not have Psycho Boost. So no matter what they throw at me, it's not going to KO the Toxicroak at this range. One more counter is going to seal the deal. GG's trainer. All right, and going into the next battle here up against Whoa Alex, I think it was. They open up with a Melmetal, so we hands down won the lead in this situation. I expect them to swap as soon as they possibly can, which they do, into Victory Bell, funny enough. So Toxicroak is going to resist that Razor Leaf from Victory Bell, but because of their open with the Melmetal, Melmetal having the Thundershock, Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, Superpower, Flash Cannon, whatever moveset they end up going with, just having Thundershock in the first place, they are going to charge things up so quick that I don't want to play games, which is why I decided I don't necessarily need to charge up a bunch of energy on the Toxicroak. If anything, it's better with their, again, based on their lead, it's better for me to just save as much health as I possibly can on the Toxicroak since he is squishy, right? Even resisting the Razor Leaf, he is still a little squishy, so I don't want to take an uncomfortable amount of damage and then lose with no shields left to a Rock Slide from a Melmetal. That's the situation, I kind of foresaw and I was definitely trying to avoid. So here comes the Melmetal. I basically just do a shield bait at this point. If they throw the Superpower, I'm not going to shield. I basically kind of play it this way, not to BN people or anything, but I definitely want to get that shield, and I want them to force. I guess I want to force the Superpower as soon as realistically possible, which I don't shield. They ended up just going for the Rock Slide at that range. I think that potentially was a mistake. They probably should have just gone for the Superpower, but they do know I have a shield anyway, so that's why they're trying to shield bait. They want to get that shield out of here. But now we see the superpower come in, so obviously I'm going to instantly come in. I actually was going to say Toxicroak, but I end up coming in with the Azumarill, and I guess that's because, okay, yeah, so that makes sense. Their Melmetal is debuffed, right? They debuffed themselves with the superpower that they threw, so I'm going to, you know, kind of take advantage of that and come in and farm up a bunch of energy with the Azumarill. So I guess that's kind of smart because I'd rather have that energy than not having that energy. So their Azu comes in. I think I use the shield at this point because if that is a play rough, it might KO it, and if it doesn't, it'll get really close. And I know I need at least, you know, what is it, 1 or 2 more counters for a Sludge Bomb. 3, 4, 5. I only needed 1 more, but I got in 4 extra, so I might be able to hit. Yeah, I should be able. This is why I played it this way. I'll throw the Sludge Bomb, and then I should be able to Mud Bomb. There you go. Mud Bomb right away afterwards, and with shields down on an Azumarill, that is going to seal the deal. They're not going to be able to access another charge move. So that was not only in a very efficient use of energy, but a very efficient use of a shield, right? Save a shield. Save a shield for the Toxicroak. Realistically, I mean, I don't think there's any reason you shouldn't be able to do it every time if you run this team. And of course, it was still even a really close call with that Melmetal, which is why I played out the swap in the beginning of this match. I swapped as soon as I, you know, realistically could. All right, going into the next opponent here, it looks like the recording for some reason did not speed up during this portion. I'm not sure why. I did want it to be a little slower than I normally do because I want to be able to explain, you know, why I do what I do when I do it, so that if you want to end up using this team on your own push to rank 10, if you haven't already used it, then, you know, you can use it a little better, at least with more information, right? You can use it, I guess, an educated use. And there, from what you can see, the unshielded single Psycho Boost from a Deoxys just deletes the Toxicroak. That was... I was kind of raging, honestly. During the battle, I was raging so hard. I was like, what the... Who runs a Psycho Boost, dude? I mean, Psycho Boost has use, it has merit. And not only did they Psycho Boost our Toxicroak, which was, I think, the biggest threat we had against this Haunter, but they brought the Haunter, too. There's like, it's done. There's nothing I can do. I think I ended up quitting out, honestly. I think I rage quit. Because it's like, even with the 2 shields, my Registeel is not going to stand a chance against... You know, the fact that they probably have either an Azumarill of their own or a Registeel of their own in the back, and we already know they have the defense Deoxys. And I just took a Shadow Ball to the Azumarill on top of everything else. Maybe I didn't quit. Did I continue to play this out? Oh man. Oh man. Did I actually win this? I don't remember. I think I lost this one. Oh, this is interesting. They have the Haunter. I mean, no matter what right now, and I'm not going to use a shield, right? If they're going to throw a Shadow Punch, which I think is what they'd have access to at this point. Oh, I take it back. I do shield the Shadow Punch. And that was a really bad sign at that point too, because I'm like, great. They're going to be able to throw another charge right after this. I have no shields left. That was such an aggressive sweep. Like, really GG's trainer. I'm super salty, honestly. Like, super duper salty, but GG's indeed. He played that almost perfectly. So apparently I did not quit out. Honestly, like right now, I guess if I were playing this game, I would have quit. As soon as the Psycho Boost came out, I'd have been like, all right, I'm out. Oh, there it is. There it is. GG's trainer. All right, and that was obviously the loss in this set, the Psycho Boost. Toxicroak is going to be a goner. Now, they open up with Alolan Ninetales, and they are using Charm. So Charm is going to chunk away pretty quick from what you can see into the Toxicroak, but honestly, since they opened up with the Alolan Ninetales, I'm like, all right, they probably have a really weird comp going on, because I don't realistically see how, you know, Ninetales with an Azu Regicore would really be that, you know, successful. Like, that would have way too many holes. It'd be too easy to take advantage of. Like, a Probopass would do so much work against that. Like, Probopass Deoxys would melt that kind of comp, and I think that'd be obvious to them. So like I thought, they have a different team that they're running. They actually have a Venusaur that they swapped into to answer our Azumarill, and we already have the shield advantage at this point since we baited with the Mud Bomb from the Toxicroak into their Alolan Ninetales. So I did notice, obviously, from what you can see, that is a Razor Leaf Venusaur, that is not Vine Whip. So in terms of energy gain, it's going to be strictly worse than Vine Whip is. However, the damage output is going to be much better, of course, but I'm going to take advantage of that. At the end of the day, I'm going to milk it with the Registeel because I wouldn't shield the Sludge Bomb and or a Frenzy Plant that they're going to throw at this point. I think probably Venusaur is not best used in the Go Battle League for the current meta, at least. As a Razor Leafer, you definitely want Vine Whip. If you want to go Razor Leafer, I would say Victory Bell. I did see somebody ran a Razor Leaf Meganium, which was pretty surprising. I still ended up winning that battle, and I won that set actually too. But Meganium, I guess, has some usability because it makes up for its lack of attack stat with the sheer Razor Leaf damage. But anyways, I mean, this is GG's. They have the Empoleon, which in a lot of cases can win against the Registeel between the Waterfall and the Hydro Cannon damage, but I have 2 shields and an energy advantage, so that is a hard GG's Trainer. As soon as we hit this Flash Cannon, it is going to be donezo. Yeah, Alolan Ninetales, man. I don't know how I feel about Alolan Ninetales. You know, I guess if we see the meta shift and the Azumarill Registeel core is not so like dominant and overpowering, then I would probably run picks like that more often. Right, going into the next opponent here. So this one was good. They actually open up with the Jirachi, as you can see. So the confusion damage per confusion will deal 256% damage to my Toxicroak. It like deletes Toxicroak. So I got out of there as soon as physically possible, and we see another person swap into Altaria to answer a Azumarill. That's definitely bad. I hope you guys are not doing that, as Altaria is not an answer realistically to Azumarill. I mean, if the Sky attacks go unshielded, I guess, then you can kind of mitigate the threat, but even then, like, you definitely need to be using shields, because the most common moveset to run on Azumarill overall is Bubble, Ice Beam, and then Hydro Pump. It's less common people have Bubble, Play Rough, Hydro Pump, and or Bubble, Play Rough, Ice Beam. So yeah, don't be swapping in to answer an Azumarill with an Altaria. That's not the way to go. Because they did that though, I did end up using a shield. I don't think I double shield though. Oh, well, I mean, I guess I used the shield because I want to take advantage of the fact that since they had that bad swap, I don't know, again, I don't really know if it was an intentional swap or not, but because it was a bad swap, I want to take advantage of it and reserve as much energy and health as I possibly can with the Azumarill, which we do see a swap. It definitely seems like it was a bad swap. They probably meant to go into this Ferrothorn here to answer the Azumarill, but I have some energy built up. I'm going to throw the Ice Beam at Ferrothorn, which is going to deal neutral damage to its Grass and Steel typing. And then what do they throw? I think it's not Grass Knot, Power Whip. Power Whip is what it can carry, which even resisted. That's huge. It did almost half health to the Toxicroak, but Toxicroak with his attack stat is just able to counter down the Ferrothorn to build up this energy. And we have, well, I don't know why I threw a Mud Bomb there. That was, I don't know why I did that, to be honest. I mean, shields are down. I probably should have just gone for the Sludge Bomb, but it is what it is. Do I reach a, yeah, I really don't know why I did that. That was nonsense. Ignore that. I definitely should have gone for the, what is it, the Sludge Bomb. Well, I guess because their comp is different, I wanted to work, I guess what I was doing actually is working the switch clock, because from what you can see, it's only just now getting close enough to be able to swap. And oh yeah, that's the thing too, since they open with the Jirachi, I know that Toxicroak is Toxicroak's a huge liability. Since they had the Altaria and the Jirachi, I'd rather just have him throw the energy, because I don't want to give this Jirachi any chance to build up enough energy, especially to get it even 1 or 2 extra confusions in on the Toxicroak. That's like, don't let Jirachi do that. Don't even the resisted Doom Desires into a Registeel, if they get 2 of them, that's going to deal a decent chunk of damage. I think it gets it down to around 75% health, and that's just because Doom Desire is so great as a move. It's an amazing move. They had the Altaria, then they ended up quitting out, obviously. That was done. GG's Trainer. Yeah, battlers, that is it for this video. So if you have not already used this team or tried it out, I definitely do recommend it. I give it, honestly, 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, it was weird situations where I ended up losing. The first loss that I had in set 1 was just a really bad decision, and then set to the cycle boost just deleted, and then the game was basically over from there. So, you know, outside the parameters of out of those two one-off scenarios, like this team dominated, and if played correctly, it can sweep everything. At this point too, once I begin my grind to rank 10, the team that I'm running is different from this. I just ran a set actually before recording this where it was like a pretty dominant, pretty aggressive 5 for 5, so it was a perfect win. And I did record it too, so I guess if I end up hitting rank 9 with that same team, then I will make that an upload, and we'll go from there. Then we'll start the you know, the actual road to rank 10. Again though, before we end the video, shout out to HouseStark, and congratulations HouseStark on hitting rank 10 with this team. If you do want to follow HouseStark on Twitter, again, link is in the description below. But yeah, that is it for this video. Subscribe if you feel my vibe. Power up, punch the notification bell for all the PvP content. We'll see you in the next video, battlers. Have a good stinking day.